All right, guys, thank you very much for coming back on the mic with JB.Banda. Today I've got a special guest. This guy is my friend. We go way back. I'm talking 2018. Last time, we linked up and we met. That was actually back in Australia. He's definitely heavy into his fitness. This guy, his consistency is second to none. I'm telling you, he's done a lot of bodybuilding shows and things like that, which we're gonna jump in and talk about that as well. I just want to welcome this guy to the podcast. Warren, my brother, how are you doing, Warren? How's it going, bro?
I'm good, man. Long time no see.
Long time, brother. Long time. We were talking before we came on air. Like, last time we linked up was 2018, and I was Bondi Junction in Sydney.
That's it, man. That used to be the Palace, man. We used to be there
Fitness Fest.
Yeah, that's it. I missed that gym, man. I went back to Sydney just recently, and I never got a chance to go. I went to the fancy one, man, in the Westfield.
Oh, the one in the Westfield. Yeah.
And I wish I'd gone to Spring Street because it wasn't.
Yeah, Spring Street. That's where it's at.
Exactly.
I always feel like Spring Street was for the heavy hitters, and then Westfield was for the people that are just trying to look good.
To look good, yeah, exactly. They're the ones with the fake tans and the tattoos and stuff like that.
You know what I mean? They're just trying to look good. They're just there for the Insta picture.
Exactly, man. Exactly. No, Spring Street was a laugh, man. I miss that gym. It's good.
Man, that gym was heavy, man. It was really it was good. It was good. Yeah, I used to go in between the two. Like sometimes I train at Westfield, sometimes I train in Springfield. But yeah, it used to be lit. Originally where are you from? Am I right in saying, are you like by any chance South African, or did I get that completely wrong?
No, I am. It's my accent is just a mix. So I'm South African originally, and then I moved to the UK at 15.
No way.
So I don't know, because I know you from the UK originally, or?
Yeah, well, I was actually born in Africa.
Before I saw.
So I was born in Africa, and then I grew up in London, and then moved obviously to. I've moved everywhere, bro. I've lived everywhere. I've moved to Ireland. Then from Ireland went to Australia. That's when we linked up. When I met you.
Yeah. So it's kind of the same story.
Yeah. So whereabouts in South Africa are you from then originally?
So Durban. I was born in Durban.
Oh wow!
And then I lived in Maritzburg, which is kind of like a small town. No one really knows it.
Yeah,
it's just like a fucking rural place. But yeah, man. So like 15 years or so in the UK, and then went to Australia and saw you. I was there for 2.5 years.
Yeah,
and then back to the UK with Alice, my partner that I met in Sydney. I met her at the Westfield Fitness First.
Of course you did.
Yeah, it sounds a bit stereotypical, but and then man. So then obviously UK and then Dubai. Because of lockdown, it just got it shut my business off. Like I was PTing there, and that just basically folded up overnight. I lost 45 hours a week, just gone like that with COVID.
Wow, that's crazy.
So we went to Dubai for 6 months, and now we're back here in Oz. So it's cool, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Obviously, like for a lot of people that don't know, Warren is proper, like I said, heavy into his fitness. He's a personal trainer, he's an online coach. What got you into fitness, bro? Why did you like want to pursue the personal training and the online coach business? Because it's a very, very competitive industry to be in.
It is, man. It is. Well, I mean, it's a bit of a long story. I'll try and give you the shortest version. But I've always been into training. So right from like 15, 16, going to the gym at college in the UK, just messing around really. So I've always been into it since then. I took a few different paths in my life. Went to university, joined the military straight afterwards. That didn't work out because of.
I thought you had a military streak, because I was going to actually ask you that. I was like, because I remember like I seen it in one of your posts, and I was like, he's been in the military. Like, what did you do in the military? Let's touch on that quick.
So I joined to fly.
Oh, wow.
But in the Navy. So the Navy part so it's called the Fleet Air Arm.
Yeah.
And mate, in all honesty, I'd probably still be there. I joined at the worst time in history to join. So basically they had budget cuts. They changed the training aircraft. They got, I don't know if you remember the SDSR. There was a big financial budget cut to the UK forces in 2010.
Oh yes, I remember that.
It was a big thing, made the news. So that had a knock-on effect. And when I joined in 2011, it was just a really bad time. So we ended up going through officer school, commissioned as an officer. That was all great. And then it just slowed down. Like we're supposed to go straight onto flight training, which might have taken 2 years altogether, and then into operations. But I was in for just under 4 years, and in that time I did hardly any flight training because it was just delayed. And when I say delays, it was sometimes you would do like a 2-3 week course in, I don't know, low level navigation or something, whatever, maybe get in an aircraft for a few hours. And then they would be like, yeah, you've got a 6-month break now until your next course, 6 months. Jeez. And you kind of, and it sounds okay. Maybe the first time it might have been a couple of months and you think, oh, well, it's cool. I can do whatever I want. But after a while, man, you're like 27 years old. And I was like, I need to get on with my life. I can't keep sitting around. And then there's no promise it's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
The end of the day, they called us into a room. So we got all the way through. I did ground school, a couple of other things. They called us into a room and they said, listen, what used to happen, when I say us, there was like 6. So we go through in like little groups. So in my group, they called us in and they said, listen, what used to happen is you used to compete for your scores and the best student would be able to choose what aircraft they want to go and fly. But that's not going to happen this time. We want to be, for once, they were like, we're going to be honest with you up front. Being the military, it's a lot of closed doors. And they said to us, that's not going to happen. We need all of you guys to go and fly Merlin, which is like it's probably the most, I don't want to say it now, so I've got guys who are flying Merlin and they have a great career or whatever, but to me it was probably the most boring. So it's basically a big grey bus that goes that takes off from a frigate in the middle of the bloody Atlantic. So you can imagine what the weather's like, just horrible. And it just hunts around it's anti-submarines. And to me, that was like the least attractive thing. So I just said, look, that's not what I wanted to do. There were several things I joined that I wanted to fly, search and rescue, Marines, special ops, all that kind of stuff. All of them just fell away as I was going through training, and I just can't do that. And I was like, it's not what I joined. You know what I mean? It wasn't the same. I didn't have the same feeling that when I joined.
Absolutely, your vision that you had when you're going in was sort of just taken away from you.
Exactly, man. It just completely vanished and became something. And I was like, that's not what I wanted to do at all. So it was a tough decision, man. Like I said, I would have still been there. Had it not been for that. I loved it. I loved everything about it. So if it wasn't for that, I'd probably still be there. But I had to leave. And then you're kind of in a position then when I was in an early relationship. I had a car that I bought, and I was like, I need to get a job, and I need to get a safe job.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into finance.
Wow.
So that was a bit of a story as well. Mate, I might have to just move. I don't know if you want to pause it or whatever, but I might just move location. All right. Just into another room.
Cool, bro.
Just pause it or keep it running, or
just keep it running, man. Let's do it, man. We're going. Just keep it running. It's all good, man. Don't worry about it.
Behind the scenes, show him.
Yeah, man. Okay, Warren is in Australia. For those who don't know, he's calling us all the way from Australia. So it's a bit late there, and people are trying to get their dinners and get everything sorted. And he was in a good spot in the kitchen, but he's trying to make his way through. So that's what's going on right now. He's navigating his way into a quiet space. He's just taking us to his private gym.
This is the cardio room.
The cardio room. Sweet. I think it actually works well, you being the fitness guy in the cardio room. I think that kind of ties it in quite well.
In all honesty, I'd never use those machines. I think I would be, I think I'm too heavy for them. They're basically Alice's mom's machines, so they're a bit, they're not the heavyweight machines. I'd break them.
So you were saying, so you got into fitness straight after military. You got into finance.
So fitness was like I was doing it the whole time, but like I said, I just needed a job, and I needed something that was like just pay the bills and stuff. And there was there's a bit of a route in London between, if you come out of the military as an officer, there's a lot of like guys that are officers that work in banks.
Okay.
Because basically it's like the operations side of it. So as an officer, you're doing operations in the military. It's kind of similar to the environment in a bank.
Okay.
So a lot of the guys go down that path. So I dug up a few contacts. I started with just one at Goldman Sachs, and I went for coffee. And this was like December, and I went for coffee with this one person, and they listened to your story, and then they're like, oh, we'll let you know if anything comes available. And you're like, cool. But the trick was to try and get another contact every time you met with someone. Try and get two, so you grow a network.
Yeah.
And basically, mate, from December, I got my first job. I started on my birthday. So on 14th of April, I started work. For that 4 months, I was living in some shithole flat. I don't know if I can swear on this, but I'll just
so good, bro. Trust me, it's fine, bro.
Keep it real. Just some hellhole flat in Isleworth.
Oh wow!
Near West London.
Yeah.
Man, it was ghetto. It was rough, and I had I was in a relationship at the time, and so I used to get the Piccadilly line all the way through, change at Green Park, and then go through the Canary Wharf every day, bro. Every day. Meeting for coffee, sometimes 3-4 coffees a day.
Wow.
Just trying to network with people. I built up a stack of business cards. It's like probably about this high.
Yeah.
I got at least a couple of hundred of them. And
bro,
that was kind of
just a quick one on that one. Like, was that like kind of was that like commission only?
What's that?
Was that like were you getting paid the salary, or was it like
no, that was
was it commission where you just like whenever you get, because normally with them jobs it's like you build up your contacts, and whenever you can get somebody, then you get paid out of that placement, or whoever the contact is, that's when you get paid. Or were you on a retainer?
No, bro, I wasn't getting paid. That was me trying to find a job.
Oh,
I should have said at the start.
Wow.
This is me just trying to find a job, trying to get an interview, because try and break into that industry.
Yeah.
So every day, suit on, Piccadilly line, coffees and stuff, trying to ask people because you can go, you go to the website and you can go to the vacancies and you apply there. You got no chance, man. Like, they're taking.
I mean, you're talking Goldman Sachs. I mean, they're taking like the elite of the elite, like to try and get your foot in that door. It's crazy.
As well.
Yeah,
exactly. So I was trying to just hustle my way in. And made long story short, that was a pretty bleak time. I wasn't earning. I was basically running low on savings. Had like several credit cards. There was some dark days there, man. But just kept going. But fitness, like I said, is going the whole way around. Gym was like I really, the military was. I used to care about fitness, but it's all functional. It's not really lifting weights.
Yeah.
During that 4 months is when I kind of probably all started. I realized how much I could keep myself going and what I needed to do to get a job by, training and having that discipline with the gym. And it renewed my energy to go every week, every Monday, like, I've got to do the same thing again. And so I'm never going to get a job. And you know what I mean? Like it wore me down, but the gym kind of held me up a bit.
Yeah.
So especially sort of upstairs more than
mentally,
else,
yeah.
Exactly. And anyway, like fast forward that I started on my birthday on the 14th of April. So I worked for JP Morgan for 2 years in Canary Wharf. And it was okay. One of those things where you tell your friends and stuff like, oh, I work for JP Morgan. They're like, oh, wow. But at the end of the day, like what I did was so like, it had good moments, and I'm not trying to knock anyone in finance or whatever, but sometimes there were some really, really dull days, like when I look back on it.
Because I think when you tell people like, I worked for JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, a lot of people think Wolf of Wall Street. That's a lot of people think it's like
that is like, you know what it's like? It's like being in the Air Force, and you tell people you work for the Air Force, okay? And they instantly think, oh, he flies like a fighter jet.
They think Top Gun.
Meanwhile, exactly, yeah. Like less than 1% of the Air Force are pilots. Never mind fighter jet pilots. Most of them fly, big transport buses and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like telling someone you work for the Air Force and all you're doing is like packing toilet rolls in a warehouse. Yeah.
Class.
So
2 years at JP Morgan.
Yeah, 2 years at JP, and then I kind of I had like things going on there and trying to get into different things, and had it taken a different path, maybe I'd still be there, whatever. But it didn't work out, and I got to a point where I turned 30, like I had one of those like moments at 30, in 2016, so 2 years later, and I was like, this is just not working out for me. It's not really what I wanted to do. So I had a brother in Sydney, and I just rolled the dice, man. I had like 6 months left that I could get the working holiday visa, because you got to be under 31.
Yeah, true.
So I just went for it, man, and I thought, and I gave my notice into JP Morgan. My boss was like, so what are you going to do? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, what? Like, you're leaving this job with like, high salary, pension, all the stuff he said to me, and you don't even have something you're going to go to. You don't even know what you want to do. And I said to him, no, I don't really. But life's short, man. And as it turned out, mate, this is the problem. So I'm always like a not conservative, but I like to have a B plan for everything.
Yeah.
There's a hang up from the military. So as a B plan, I applied to Macquarie while I was still there. And I say unfortunately because it's with hindsight. I'll tell you in a minute. But I applied for Macquarie, and I didn't think anything of it. I then went on holiday to Ibiza for 2 weeks, like with two mates. And while I was there, I got a call from Macquarie saying, yeah, we'd like to offer you a position. And I was out. It was like three in the morning or something. And so I tried to like, oh, yeah, great. Yeah, can we speak about this another time? I'm kind of busy right now. But I'm just telling that story because they offered me a job, and I took the conservative, I took the risk averse approach. I thought, let me try and get a job up there just in case.
Yeah.
And it turned out that actually happened. So when I got out there, it was all this big thing about moving countries and it's all going to be different. I got out there and I went straight back into the same thing I was doing. I was the same environment. It's an office. It doesn't matter, like the sun's shining outside, but you're still doing 10 to 12 hours a day in a bank.
Literally. Different location, yeah, exactly. same shit.
Same drill, exactly. Same shit, yeah.
Yeah.
So I came out here and like, so with hindsight now, I probably shouldn't have done that. I should have just come out here, worked out what I actually wanted to do, and taken a bit more of a risk. But at the end of the day, like money, sometimes you can't do it if you don't have the money the means to do it.
Do you know what, bro? Like, you're so right, because like we're so drilled in our head that we have that mechanism to try and kind of, especially when you're sort of grown, like you're in your 30s and whatever. You want to have something that, like, you want to have security. You don't want to be relying on someone else. And like when I moved to Australia, like back here in England, I was doing sales, and I've always done sales all my life. So when I got to Australia, the first thing I did the first week was do what? Do the exact same job I was doing here, just out in Australia, just like you. Because I was like, I need to get money in and I need to like do something. And I'd done that job, I think, for like 6 months. I was doing sales. Then after that, I then switched it up to do something completely different that I've never done in my life. And I had the best time of my life. Yeah. So yeah, you're right.
It's crazy, the parallels between us, man. Similar things. Yeah.
So yeah, you moved there, and then you thought you're working out there at Macquarie, and then you thought, listen, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I'll tell you what it was. I mean, I used to train at Bond Street.
Yeah, Bond Street. Yes.
Bond Street Fitness First. That was okay. And then basically Bondi Junction. Once I moved in with Alice, because she lived in Rose Bay, so we moved in there. We lived together there. And in all honesty, man, it was kind of seeing her so happy she was a personal trainer, and it was seeing her so happy with her job. And I kind of, like, personal training had never been something that I'd thought of as a career before. And then it kind of, it wasn't something I wanted to do straight away, in all honesty, but it just made me think that I've got to find something where I'm that happy with my job, because and the more I saw her happy, the more I started to hate finance, and I would end up like, it was really some dark days, man. Like, I used to go and train with her in the morning, then sit with her and have a coffee, and then just like the thought of getting the train into the city,
into work, and she's staying with our clients. She's carrying on doing the fitness thing.
Exactly, and she had her own schedule. She was her own boss, and I started to dread that train journey into work, man. It was like, again, with Macquarie, I tried to seek out a few opportunities there. It didn't really come about. I don't know what the situation was there. It's very hard to move within the company.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things, man, if you get yourself into a position where you are, and I'm not trying to float my own boat, but if you're relatively good at what you do,
yeah,
they don't want to, sometimes they don't want to lose you. So they won't let you move to another department because they want to keep you there. And it's like, listen, this is my future. Like,
yeah,
you know,
because you want to move up the ranks, but they don't want to move. They don't want to lose you because you're too good in that department.
Well, I think for me, it wasn't at the ranks. I was trying to get into something completely different. I was doing project management. So again, the whole operations type theme.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get into something a bit more exciting, but yeah, man. So I went for a few jobs, and the last one I kind of went through like a 4-month interview process, got down to like the last 2 guys, me and another guy, and really got put through the ropes, mate, with interviews with like all the way up and down the management. And had that worked out, maybe I'd still be there. I don't know. It didn't work out. Potentially now with hindsight, I can say that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Because even if I'd got, it was a junior trader position, which is like, in finance, they're like hen's teeth. They are so rare. And they get snapped up, mate. People just want them. So, but, you know, I might have taken that. It might have been exciting for a few months. And then I might have sort of think, you know, I'm still more excited about going to the gym in the day than doing my job. So maybe I'd have come around to the same conclusion. And then, you know what? It got to the point, mate, where I was like, and I know I said I was going to give you the short version of this story, and I'm like 20 minutes in. Like, but I guess this kind of, you know what, why I go into detail and I tell people the stories, because there's a lot of people out there who will be in the same position.
Absolutely, man.
Like a lot of people that just unhappy with their job and
stuck in the rat race. You're right, bro.
That's it. And sometimes they can't see a way out, and they don't know how. And I guess for hearing other people, and one thing I would say is like, there is no way out. Like no one comes along and goes, oh, by the way, like here's an option. You know, everything's sorted out for you. Just walk this way through this door and everything's going to be okay. It doesn't happen like that. And for me, it got to the point where I was like, it actually like I took sick leave on the basis of just not being okay, man. Like I just broke down a bit, just wasn't functioning properly, sort of mental health.
Wow.
And took 2 weeks off and then never went back. I chatted to my boss while I was away, and I said, look, I've realized that this is just not for me.
Yeah.
And I need to get away from that space in order to find out what I need to do. And they were very understanding. You know, most professional companies are. They don't want bad PR. So but no, they were very good. And I never went back, man. I didn't even go back to pack my desk up. I left a pair of shoes there. I left all my stationery. It became, as soon as I identified it as a problem, it became a place that I just didn't want to go back to. Like it became a real negative thing, even though there were a lot of guys there I was good mates with, and you know, still, you know, to this day chat to some of them. But so that's what I mean. Like sometimes you really just, it's got to be like you got to make like a step decision in your life. It's got to be a step action. What I mean like by that is, it's like, there's no smooth transition. You just need to like absolutely go for it. Like just act, exactly, man. That's what I tell my clients or potential clients. You know, it's about action. That's it.
Because I think sometimes if you think into something too much, it just becomes a fantasy and never happens. Like you just keep thinking, and then you overthink everything, and then by overthinking the negativity starts to creep in, and then you just kind of, again, your instinct comes on, and then you start relying on that safety again. You start to think about that security again. And I feel like that's the only thing, like we trap ourselves in these things, because I always say, like, you know, my mom and you know, my dad, and they always tell me, like, listen, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. If you can't buy something outright, don't do it. And I feel like society has trapped us into getting things on finance, you know, mortgage, this, that. Then you've got all these things that you have to, your monthly payments are going up. So you need this job, you hate this job, but you need this job to pay out all these outlets. Whereas if you were living within your means, and everything was bought outright, you wouldn't be worried about all these things, because you wouldn't have all these things to worry about that would hold you, and you almost kind of keep you in a prison. And mentally, you're waking up every day, you're going to a job that you hate, but you have to do it because you know you've got all these things that needs paying, and otherwise the bailiffs are going to come. And you know, then you just end up, you know, struggling along through life and then you get old, and then you start staying on your rocking chair, telling all the old kids, you know, I used to have a dream. I thought I could do this. And, you know, that's what happens. And I feel like society gets you you know, like, yeah, it traps you like that. So sometimes you need to just, like you said, you need to do what you did. And you just to be like, you know what? I don't know where I'm going to get my next paycheck from. I don't know what's going to happen, but at least I'm happy. Mentally, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to be sound. And that's all that matters right now. And just be like, listen, I'm out. And more than that, like, it's almost like fear is like a smoke screen. We get scared for the unknown. Like, you're scared of nothing because you could drop that job and find out that the next time you find something, and it always happens. Like, God always lines up something for you, and you end up stumbling into something, and people help you out, and you start enjoying it, and you be like, oh my God, I can't believe it worked out. Why was I so scared? If somebody had told me it was gonna work out, I would never believed him. But it always works out. It always works out.
It does. If you like, you know, there's no such thing as luck. I think it's all about putting yourself out there enough. So if you put yourself out there enough, I believe that, you know, if you that's it. You put yourself out there enough, eventually it'll come right.
Absolutely, bro.
There's no guarantees, and you know, if you're religious, you can see it that way. 100% understand that. But you know, ultimately, like you say, with everything sort of smothering you and tying you down, I think it's something, you know, I think it's something that we don't often do enough, is kind of have enough foresight. So really kind of, and this was my catalyst really for leaving. You know, obviously with the break with sort of like my mental health and stuff took a bit of a turn for the worse. But eventually I woke up one day and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to wake up at 50 and still be doing this. If I wake up at 50 and I'm still doing this job, but I'm being paid a little bit more and I'm been promoted a couple of times, who cares? Basically the same job. I will just be like, shit. And 50 is not even that old, but you know, it was older than I was then. It was 20 years older than I was then. And for me, it would have been like, shit, where did my life go?
Yeah.
You only get one life, man.
That's
like,
true,
I'd rather
man.
have like some rocky years now, trying to work this shit out than get to the point where, you know, you don't have as much of a chance to do that. Let's say, you know, the age doesn't define your opportunities or whatever, but responsibility does. So at 50, you're probably going to have kids, you're probably going to be married. So it's a bit harder then to, you know, to gamble as much. So
true.
I had to do it now, man. Yeah. But you're right, man. We get too bound by these things. And every single guy that I was in finance with, or in that kind of industry, they were up to the eyeballs in debt. You know, it's all credit cards, because it's all about servicing the debt. So you're like, oh, well, I'm earning $150,000, $200,000 a year, some of these guys, but you know, they've got like a fancy car, they've got a mortgage, they've got a boat, they've got a timeshare somewhere. I mean, they end up with like $500 after all that expenditure to actually keep. Like, it's just madness.
It's literally like the money comes in, and when the check comes in, it pays off that debt. Then you get an American Express to pay off this credit card. Then you get an Air Miles to pay off that credit card, and then that, like, it's just debt everywhere.
I know. It's poisonous, man. It's poisonous.
It's crazy.
So when I left, I went to do. I didn't like I said, the PT thing wasn't obvious straight away. It was kind of, I kind of thought, yeah, maybe, but we'll just see. And I did some charity work. I thought, let me do something that's like a bit of soul searching.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm not going to try and, you know, it was good doing something for charity, of course. I'm not going to claim credit for that because I got a lot out of it personally myself. So I decided to, you know, some people like sort of try and claim too much credit for doing charity. And they get a lot out of it personally. Like, I just wanted to clarify like that. Basically, I needed some space. I needed to do like some real thinking. So I decided, let me walk from Sydney to Canberra.
Wow.
And like a trek. And it's like 320 Ks or something. And I thought, well, let's do it for the Are You OK charity, because it's kind of mental health as well. So it all ties in. And that kept me occupied, man. So I left in July 2018, and I did the trek or whatever in September.
Wow.
So, you know, sort of 3 months, 3 months there, I was like just busy on this. And when I go back to my Instagram, you go all the way back to that point, there's just post after post of like, you know, just drumming up that whole thing and getting ready for that. And I mean, even then, I don't think the PT thing after that came, I still wasn't really thinking about it. But then obviously my visa, I lost my visa. So with Macquarie, I had a sponsored visa, and that was going to run out. I can't remember when it ran out, but they give you a bit of a period and it runs out, and then effectively you have to leave the country. So Alice had always wanted to work overseas. So I mean, I could have got a partner visa, but we thought, let's just take the opportunity. So we went back to the UK, and it was a couple of months before we went back to the UK that I thought, let me do this personal training thing, because not so much making a job out of training, but more on the sort of coaching and leadership side. And I kind of discovered that from being an officer in the military before, this enabled me to sort of tap back into that and kind of help in that way. So
I always find like you people that have been in the military, you're better PTs, because the discipline and the work ethic you get from the military transitions through to your personal training and your coaching. I always find people that have been in the military like really adapt well in terms of PTing and becoming personal trainers and becoming coaches, just because of the discipline that you guys get in the military, second to none, and the workmanship and the dedication and the commitment you have to you are put through in military kind of gives you that thick skin resilience, and whereby in fitness, as a PT, you need to be resilient. You need to have that thick skin and kind of work through all those trials when you're trying to get new clients and battle through that. And you need to have that mindset, and the military gives you that mindset. It gives you that work ethic. It gives you that kind of leadership and that commitment and that discipline. So I always find like army guys always do. You guys always smash it when it comes to like personal training.
Yeah, there was. I met a few good ones in London. There's a couple now that I still keep in touch with or whatever. Like, you're right, but interestingly, the best thing, and I'm glad you didn't actually say it, like, people often think that military PTs are going to be the more shouty ones. It's the opposite. So and it depends. Okay, so obviously, there's different parts of the military. You can obviously go in as an enlisted personnel, and you can go in as an officer, and there's different ranks and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's important probably to say, I mean, in this, so if you went in as an enlisted personnel, but you can still get promoted up. So you can go from to like this, like lance corporal, corporal, sergeant, that kind of thing. Or if you go an officer, lieutenant, captain, up like that. The point is that once you start to climb that thing, you kind of realize that the more rank you have on your shoulder, the less you really want to use it. So you have to develop other ways to bring the best out of people without resorting to this. Because if you resort to this, that's the last resort. Okay. Yeah. So if you use the rank and it doesn't work, or you piss the guys off or whatever, that's you fucked. Like, as an officer or as a sergeant, doesn't matter. Like, so you have to learn ways to bring the best out of people. Absolutely. To make them believe in themselves more, to basically empower them, basically fill them with confidence to complete tasks, whatever it is, if it's a mission or if it's just a task or something like that. And that's kind of, that I think is probably a stronger point in PT. The discipline stuff is all good and everything, but there's still, there's civilian PTs that are like straight down the middle.
Cool. So you were saying, go ahead. You were talking about, the rankings and helping the guys out and filling them with confidence.
Trying to get the best out of them. And I think when I was PTing, so when I got to London, moved back with Alice, and there's actually like, there's a bit of a story there as well. I tried to get my PT qualification. And this is probably worth saying because it's a bit funny, or it's bloody tragic. But you can't make this shit up, man, honestly. So I paid twice to get my PT qualification. Once I paid an Australian company, I think $3,000 or something, and that was while I was still in Australia. Oz. So paid them, and I wasn't moving to the UK at the time. And then about 2 months in, I'd moved to the UK, and I thought, well, they're kind of universal qualifications. And I phoned them up and I said to them, can I still use this qualification in the UK? And they said, yeah, it's fine, whatever. And turns out when I got to the UK, one of the steps was to get a first aid certificate. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I turned up to the UK. The first place I go to live is in Portsmouth. I don't know if you've been.
Yeah, of course.
Actually,
I've been to Portsmouth.
Nice
Yeah, I've been to Portsmouth.
So I was house sitting for a mate from university down there for 2 weeks. It was great. Like, we just moved straight in there. And then I had to go and do a first aid course like straight away because like I want to start work now.
Yeah.
So I went to Gosport, which is like, I don't know if you've been to Gosport. That's like, it's like the rough end of Portsmouth or whatever. But I had to go do this first aid course with like the biggest mismatch of people you've ever seen. Like this like truck driver dude and some old woman nurse. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
There's me in this cold classroom in January doing this shitty first aid course. Anyway. So it has to be done by the Red Cross. So I go British Red Cross to do this qualification. Red Cross. And I call the Australian PT company up again. I say, okay, I've done my first aid course. Here's the certificate. And they're like, no, it needs to be Australian Red Cross. And I'm like, well, I'm in the UK, so how is it supposed to be Australian? Literally, they said to me, the only way I could finish the course, that was the only stumbling block, was to fly back to Australia, do a Red Cross PT. Yeah. Do it. I should bloody name them here, but I won't. But it's just because I fought them on it, and eventually they did give me some money back. So I won't badmouth them in any way. I won't name the company, but yeah, you can imagine like how frustrating that is and how ridiculous it is as well. Like they're both owned by the Red Cross, but they said no, it's got to be Australian Red Cross. I mean, it's just like it's one of those things where like the computer says no, so that's it. Like like thought or discretion.
Wow. So then you had to start all over again in the UK.
Start again. And now I'm like running on savings again. Eh? So we were house sitting for a start. Then we went to, we lived with my mom for a bit, like just a couple of days. And then we moved into Putney.
Yeah.
And in a flat share there with another Aussie couple, funny enough. And so I had to restart. So I basically went online, did a quick search, found this company, what the hell are they called now? And I will name these guys, but if I remember the name. Yeah. Anyway, so paid up front as well, did the training, and I was going through it fine. And then things started to go quiet. And I had a tutor, and they were marking this stuff. Now, bear in mind, the PT qualification, from what I'd known, and this again, not trying to be arrogant, from what I'd accumulated in knowledge through the years of fitness, I was unlearning shit by doing a PT qualification. And I was like going backwards. Like
absolutely.
Some of it's wrong. It's just out, especially in the nutrition stuff. And they just reference the government nutritional guidelines. And I'm like, I'm not going to give my clients 9 portions of grain.
But if you want to pass the test, you have to give them that. You have to do it step by step.
Yeah.
That's literally.
Through the hoops like a little dog, man. And anyway, so I was doing all this stuff, submitting these assignments, and then it went quiet. And basically I was like, what's going on here? And I started to put in complaints. And then like, I was like, my income's depending on this. Long story short, right? Turns out this company was fraudulently certifying not personal training, but other qualifications. So nutrition, some smaller stuff. But they were making big bucks out of it. And it was a company that the owners were based up north somewhere in the Midlands.
Yeah.
And he was like driving around. It made the paper. So when I was searching around, it made the local paper up in wherever it was, Midlands somewhere, because he had a Lamborghini, and basically him and his wife got arrested. So the company just folded, like liquidated, bang. And that's
no way, mate.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And because I'd taken out a financial plan, so it was like, I don't know how much it was, like £800 or something to pay for the course.
Yeah.
But then Barclays said, you can pay this amount a month, interest-free 12 months. Who's not going to do that? Like you say, though, about the, monthly expenditure. But at the time, and I had to pay monthly.
Well, obviously, yeah. Because I remember, like, I'd done a PT course in London, and I paid monthly. Worked out something like $5,000, because you had to do like get your doctor referral and all that there as well. Like within the qualification, I had to do my spin included in the qualification, and then I had to do it monthly. Then they don't give you the certificate until once you've kind of paid it off, but they give you a digital version. So I was able to get a job with David Lloyd's and Virgin Active in Reading. So I know what you're talking about, like, because like at the time, like I just left my sales job and I was like, I jumped into the fitness and I was like, I'm gonna do it, but I didn't have $5,000 up front to pay. So I thought I'm gonna take out the monthly plan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So I took the monthly plan out, and when the company folded, excuse me, Barclays still came after me for the money. So I sent them to the financial ombudsman. You know, like an open investigation. I said, fuck off. Like the company that I'm paying has disappeared. I'm not going to continue paying for this. And I said to Barclays, that's your prerogative to take it up with this fitness company. I still forget the name. Fitness Agents, this was it, or something.
Wow.
You know, maybe it wasn't that. I can't remember. Anyway, they don't exist anymore, so it doesn't matter. And I told Barclays to go and find them, and they were like, no, the company's liquidated, so they're absolved of all responsibility. And I was like, this planet is fucked, man. It's just the little guy always loses. So I had to pay them off as well. Man, like long story short, I had to get the qualification kind of fudged together, if you like, basically from what I've done in Australia, from what I've done here. And then through Gymbox Academy, an academy, got it all together and finally started work. But I only started work in June. PTing, which is just so 6 months, man. I used to go because Alice started straight away. Obviously, she started in Gymbox in Cannon Street. You know, in the city, and I was at Bank. So every morning I used to go in with her and just sit and pray all day, just working on the business and trying to get my qualification and stuff for like 6 months, man. But I've kind of forgot where I was going.
So you got your qualification, you're working at Gymbox, and then you was like, well, this is it. So that was June, that was the summertime. So people are kind of like got their summer bodies, and you're there, you've got your qualification. Like, how did you navigate trying to get your clients?
It was okay, man, because I did all right, really, because the clients that I had were people that I used to work with. So although they saw me, and you know, I kind of grown, I guess, sort of maybe physically since we saw last. I probably, you know, we'll get into that in a minute. Obviously, the bridges, the different bridges that I crossed along the way. But the point is, they kind of saw this PT that was like bodybuilder PT, but then I could talk to them and relate to their lifestyles and talk about their jobs. So they'd be like, you know, I work in futures and options. They'd tell me, and they'd expect me to be like, what? Like,
what's up? You know,
like bone, like meathead PT, and I'd actually come back at them and say, oh, cool, well, you know, this is moving in the markets right now, and blah, blah, blah.
This is that. Check this out.
Fucking,
and then they're like, how do you know that?
Exactly, And I was like, there's a reason that I came to work in this gym, right? I know that I can talk to you. Anyway, so built up clients there, man. It was going really well. Was doing a competition. Okay, so I did my first competition in that October. So pretty much joined as I was prepping. In fact, the day I started there was kind of like the first day of prep or whatever. So, you know, I was there with my little plastic containers and food and fucking, there's no microwave, so I had to eat fish and rice, chicken and rice cold in the little prep opposite the gym box. So it was all good, man, because all that stuff it all focused all the energy towards just success and everything. So, you know, hitting my meals every day, training with the view of the competition, and then I've got to get clients. So I've got to be there fucking 12 hours a day. I've got to be the first one in, the last one out, whatever it takes. Because you're on your own there. You pay £1,200 a month rent.
Wow.
And you got to pick up your own clients. That's it. So and it all went well, man. Like, then obviously competition and stuff, and then along came COVID and just fucked it all up again.
Again, because the competition you did really, really good. Like you placed well as well. Like you were proper, like absolutely shredded. Like for you guys who want to check Warren, I'm gonna put the links obviously to all his social media accounts down below. Make sure you check him out. Like, this guy was shredded, because I remember that I was on your stories all the time. He was in London early in the morning, like 5 in the morning. You were up with the bag on your shoulder with your black shorts, your Converse on, and big hoodie. And I was like, my man is in the zone. He's ready to go. Like, he was just beast mode all the way through.
I love it, man. Like, it's the thing is, looking back at it now, it was a tough time, but you look back at it and you're like, shit, I was in the zone then. I was focused, man. There's nothing that kind of focuses you more than a prep for a competition. And I loved it. Like, it got hard towards the end when calories drop and your calories are dropping. You've got to train, but you've also got to be on your feet for doing 10 hours of PT a day. But it's like, go hard or go home, man. You gotta fucking show up, you got to deliver, or the whole thing crumbles around you. So it really, I guess, yeah, for me personally, it just kept me going more. It just made me do better. The whole thing all at once, the business, the competition and stuff like that, it all kind of worked together.
Yeah.
I didn't do too well in the competition. I did well relatively for myself.
Yeah.
But again, like, I'm not making excuses here, but I entered it was an amateur Olympia. So like, my coach at the time was like, "Are you sure you want to do that as your first show?"
As a first
show, whatever. It works as the timing. And I thought it doesn't matter, because there were different categories.
Yeah.
Right? So in classic physique, and one of the categories was first timers. So I figured, well, it doesn't matter what show it is, because they're first timers. Like, these are guys who are supposed to be first show, first prep, first cycle, technically supposed to be
everything, yeah.
First everything, yeah, first timers, right? So I thought, fine, it doesn't matter. There'll be more people there. Cool, whatever. So went ahead with it. Another thing that happened, man. Like, I changed coaches along the way, because my first coach was a great guy, but he didn't. I think he got to the point he didn't really think I was ready to get on stage.
Yeah.
And we kind of disagreed there, because I was like, I don't care whether you think I'm ready, because it's not about that. I'm thinking get on that stage because I've done 17 weeks of prep. But for him,
it's about the client, and you are the client. And if you wanted to get on stage, you should get on stage.
Exactly. But then I've got to respect the fact that these coaches, they are professionals, and their whole job is not like my coaching now. Their job is competitions. Okay, so they have a kind of level to uphold. And if I were to go on stage under his name,
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Condition. It's bad for his business. So at the end of the day, I disagreed with him. I said, "Cool, thanks. I'm going my own way. Fuck it. I'm still going on the stage." This was 2.5 weeks before the show. So
wow.
Luckily, and I will mention this guy's name, a PT that was at Gymbox basically saved me. A Hungarian guy called Otto. He's not there anymore. He's back in Hungary now. So there's not much point. If you guys want to check him out on Instagram, it's Strength and Honor Project. But he's not really active there. I don't think he does online coaching or anything. It's a shame, because he's probably one of the most knowledgeable bodybuilders I've ever met, man. Like, 125 kilogram Hungarian Eastern European dude. Okay.
Wow.
Not the kind of person you imagine you want to meet down the dark alleyway.
No.
But also the friendliest guy you've ever known. So
it's always that way, isn't it? It's always the big guys that are so friendly, like the ones that you wouldn't want to meet down the alleyway. They're the ones that are like, so friendly and so chilled, and you're like, oh my God, if I never know you, I wouldn't think you're this friendly.
But bro, he saved me. Like 2.5 weeks, like I said, I was no coach, wanted to get on stage still, and he was like, right, this is what you do. And he literally got old school, man. He's old school Eastern European. He's like, get your notes out on your phone, write this down. And I wrote all this stuff down. I basically changed my cycle, like all that kind of stuff. I think I was on too much before, man. Anyway, changed the food, everything. But he brought me in. He got me into, a fairly respectable condition. But the reason I was telling you that is because I said first timers. Yeah. So there were 15 or 16 guys in my category. So you're all divided up, because it's like I said, because amateur Olympia, I think there was like 600 or 700 competitors on the day, male.
Wow.
Which is huge, man. So we all divided up into heights and that kind of stuff for classic physique. So in my height bracket, whatever, there's 15 guys. I was chatting to them all backstage. Only 3, including myself, had never done a competition before. I was like, what the fuck is this? There's one guy there was like mid-40s. He'd blatantly been on, he'd been on gear for like, for like probably 10, 15 years. And he had a great physique or whatever. And I spoke to him and he's like, no, I've been competing. Because Amateur Olympia, they come from all over Europe. Yeah. So he basically said to me, no, I've been competing for like 10 years. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing in the first timers? It's like because
that's their platform, that's their springboard. Because whoever like does really well at amateur, that's their springboard. Because always Mr. Olympia or the other bigger ones, they're always watching the amateurs. So if somebody like makes heat wave, they can then get that's a springboard to jump onto the other one. So everybody there had that in their knowledge.
But he would need to be a pro first. So this was still amateur. So even he's not going to get noticed by anyone. What he's doing is he's coming back just to sweep up some silverware from a bunch of fucking kids, basically. He's 10 years older than everyone else. and he's come back just to get trophies. And I just thought it was a bit sad, really. But like, so anyway, only me and another 2 guys were like first. So I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm up there. There's 15 guys up there. There's actually only 3.
That I'm competing
should be up there. Yeah, man. So, but anyway, like, great experience, whatever. Like, I wasn't up there. I didn't really care about placing. I was competitive, but it was all about myself, like pushing myself. So let me get me into the best physical condition I've ever been in. I was never been that shredded before. And let me go through the journey and the whole process and enjoy it. And I did, man. And I absolutely loved it. I wasn't even nervous on the stage. I was so excited about getting up there and doing, a couple of poses and stuff. I sucked at it, man. My posing was shit. My
come on, man, give yourself credit. Some poses we're good. Come on, you were not all the way bad.
So I'm just being realistic. Like, at the end of the day, I think one thing that's good is that, the photos and stuff like that. So some people have said to me, you just look like any one of the other guys. So that's actually a compliment to me, because to stand up there and look like someone who's done it before, is a good thing. It doesn't matter what position you come, but at least if you look the part and you kind of look like you belong up there, that was good. That was good enough for me, man. So look, I'm not done with competing. COVID fucked everything up after that. I was going to do one at the start of 2020, but it fell through. I will get back to it later this year.
Cool. Listen, bro, I was going to say, so obviously here, like in the UK, we're kind of stuck in COVID, and elsewhere around the world, most people have been struggling with the lockdowns, and a lot of gyms have been shut and things like that. Like, and I know you obviously do online coaching. Like, how can people jump on that? Like, what sort of stuff do you offer? And are you kind of niche market? Do you just train focus on physique? Like, what's your training about? Is it everybody? Is it unisex, or do you just train guys or whatever? Other PTs kind of I only train girls, I only train guys, and I only focus just on if you want to get your booty going right, and if you want to get your upper body. People are kind of niche market. But are you kind of just over?
That's a good question.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. So there's my answer to it is the simple answer. I basically will coach anyone, okay, provided you're prepared to work. So I feel like I came into this for the right reasons. I didn't come into it for the money. I came into it for fulfillment. I actually enjoy the process. So at the same time as that, it means I don't care about just getting paid by someone and just kind of delivering a product and whatever. Like, if that person is not pushing themselves, not working hard, or they're just fucking me around or fucking themselves around, then I don't want their money, sort of thing. I don't.
True.
It's not about the money.
It's not about the money. It's the fact that you want to see results and you want to see people push themselves. Yeah.
And it's so fulfilling, man, when some of the clients I've had. So to answer your question, literally everyone and anyone. I have clients that basically came to me that were 30 kilos overweight. I've got clients that came to me who were 20 kilos underweight. I've got clients who are sort of 55 plus, and ones who are 18, 19, male, female, does not matter. The key, the commonality amongst all of them is that they are like, I'm gonna work. And it's not about being sort of hot. You don't have to be hardcore or whatever like that. It's just that they want the change. They're prepared to commit themselves and just keep trying, because no one gets it straight away. No one just smashes out the park solidly every meal, every workout session, boom, 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 like it. No one does that. Like, we all fall off the wagon, but these guys just keep coming back. Like, they fall off, they have a party, go on holiday, they come back the next Monday and they're ready. And that's the atmosphere I've tried to create with the team. So it's a fairly big team now in the app. We've got a group and stuff. So
because you've got your own app, haven't you? You've got your own app, you've got your own website.
Yeah, so I did all that. That's what I was doing, man, while I was trying to get my qualification and waiting to start PTing and stuff. I built the website on Wix and the app. So the app is hosted by Trainerize, which is probably the best fitness app in the world for functionality.
Absolutely. I was on Trainerize for a little bit. They are good. The functionality is amazing.
The data you get is incredible. Like the ability, the data that you can input and the clients can input, and that gives you an ability to analyze the whole thing together is very good. but they gave us like they do like a white label option, so you can pay a certain amount of money and then you can brand it yourself.
So yeah,
that's why it's my app. When you have it on your phone, it says Leppan Physiques, and you go in and it's my ugly mug up there, and then it's my logo and stuff. It was cool. It's just built as part of the sort of the team atmosphere and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, going back to your original question, I'll work with anyone provided they're prepared to push themselves to sort of exist a little bit outside the comfort zone. You know, I don't do. I will say I don't really do. Well, I don't have any enhanced clients, so it's all natural. I don't. Although I cross that bridge myself, I have nowhere near the amount of knowledge required to then prescribe for other people. Not something I would ever do.
No, and I don't think people that kind of like want to get back into their fitness and do that thing, I always find like they don't want to use enhancements. They just want to kind of do it just themselves. And most people I find,
nothing wrong with that.
Like most people I find when I was a PT was like the people that kind of know it all. The ones that are using enhancements, they think they know everything, and they're the ones that you see in the gym. You try and approach, they're like, nah, I'm good, bro. Like you try and show them how to do like slowly, nah, I'm all right, bro. Like they go a little bit of an attitude, and you leave those people alone. And those people think they know it, or they're the ones that are on enhancements, and they don't know they're just destroying their own bodies. But the people that you find like will relate to you, the few people that you find that, you know, are ready to work and will give you that work ethic and will give you that commitment, they're the people that just want to be fit for themselves. And they're not just here, they're not competing with anyone, but they're competing with themselves. They're there to push themselves. And then, you know, they're not working on anybody's schedule, but their schedule. They're listening to their body, and they're absolutely giving it their best. And some people, their best might just be to drop two waist sizes. That's it. And some people might just be, they just coming to you because they just want to eat better, and they just want to change their diet because the training side, they've got that. And I feel like it's kind of when you understand the person and what their needs and what they want, then they'll give you that. But I feel like most of my listeners and most people, they're not going to be coming to you, bro, for any of that enhancements. It's definitely going to be they just want to get their mind right.
Unfortunately, man, in the industry these days, especially with social media, there is just it's so unhealthy, the atmosphere out there. So many people out there who they're not online coaches. They are, I mean, it's different. And once you're in the industry, you kind of see all the different levels and who's who and what's what. But from the outside looking in, you probably think, oh, everyone's just an online coach, whatever. It's not. Like there are guys out there who are just fitness models. So they've just basically got themselves into shape. My favorite dig at them in my story, my guys will know, is that I always say about the people that did fucking Love Island and are now selling like 30 minutes to shredded ab programs, all this kind of stuff. Anyway, the point is there's far too many fitness models who are not admitting to using stuff. So they're basically trying to get people into, you know, they're trying to lull people into believing and persuade them that they can get that kind of shape without any assistance that way.
Without any enhancements. No, you're right. Yeah.
And it's killing it's killing people's appreciation or
it's killing the real people that are doing it right. It's killing them people that are actually doing it right, because people are sort of going. And I feel like you're right, bro, because social media has kind of created, and you're right, these people that like they think like, you know, just because they're in good shape, then that means they can become a PT or they can become an online coach and no qualifications, no nothing. They'll just set up something and they'll start selling it just to make money out of it. Rather, they're not doing it for the passion. They're not doing it for the love of it. They're just doing it because they want a paycheck at the end of the day. Just
they want to buy a new pair of fucking Yeezys every week, or they want to buy. You know what I mean? It's all about what they buy, and then they put it in their story, and then people are like, oh wow, this guy has all these like fucking Louis Vuitton stuff and Yeezy and stuff, and then people swarm towards it, like, oh, you know, this guy's got all this stuff. Yeah, but that's your money that you paid for, and you still don't have results. You bought that guy a Louis Vuitton wallet. Anyway, that is unfortunately that's part of the fight in the industry. You know, I represent a very small part of social media. You know, coaches out there who do it for the love of the job. And yeah, shit, man, we go to war with these people every day because it's not personal. Like I'm gonna get better results than them. I'm gonna get my clients better results than them. Why I'm fighting is for the people that come to me, and for Joe blogs out there, whatever, watching. I fight for them because I look back at, like part of the reason I got into, I just did a video today for YouTube, funny enough, and I kind of went through this on there. But basically, my reason for going into this industry, really, like I covered it earlier, whatever, but ultimately, when I was in finance and I sat at a desk, I didn't find anyone like myself. So I decided to become the person that I felt like I needed back then. So someone who wasn't just going to try and ram keto, paleo, hit classes, fucking fasted, whatever, cardio, was just ram that down my neck trying to sell me a product, but someone who could just basically break it down and say, this is bullshit, this will work. And I couldn't find that out there. There are people, I know other people out there now, but back then, 2016, 2015, when I was in the bank, Instagram was only a couple of years old. I couldn't find anything. So that's part of the reason now why, like my driver, the reason I get so passionate in stories, some people will notice and stuff, is because I fight for the little guy, man. There's so many people that waste their money. They're buying these programs, they're subscribing to these apps and stuff, these profiles that have got 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, whatever followers. And then they're looking to change their lives. They're desperate. They want the results.
Absolutely.
Some of them are even putting in the work already. They're getting up early. They're cutting back and stuff like that. Many of them have got all the pieces out ready, and they just need someone to just rearrange them, put them together, and put them. That's my job. That's, as an online coach, that's my job. So a lot of people, they're working hard already. They're sacrificing. They've got all the pieces of the puzzle. It's my job to put the picture together, because at the moment they can't see the picture. So often it's just a case of like redirection, that they've got the work in already. But I just feel for these guys when they're desperate and they've got, like I said, they're doing all this stuff, and they just get misled by people out there like, oh no, you need keto. Definitely you need keto. You need my keto meal plan. This people I follow that on social media that put the stuff out every second day. And it's like, I have a personal thing with keto. If anyone wants to ask me why, they can ask me after this. Okay? But I'm using it here as an example. It could represent a whole bunch of other things which are out there to mislead people. But
fair enough. Nah, man, you're speaking truth, man. And I think 100%, the fact that you've started that YouTube video, I think that's good. And after this, obviously, I'll put all the link, even that YouTube video, I'll put the link down here, and then people can kind of hear your truth as well. And I'm gonna put all the links to all your social media so people can follow you. And kind of anybody out there who's listening, if you want to do something right, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what country you're in. This is online. As long as you got a Wi-Fi net, like an internet connection, you'll be able to get hold of Warren, and like you said, and he'll be able to help you out, right, regardless where you are. He'll be able to kind of train with you, and you can do Zoom calls and all that. I'm sure that's something that he offers. Do you want to tell people exactly if they join you, how it works? Because obviously you are in Australia, most people are probably in the UK, in America, all around the world. How does it work with the online thing? Because I know there's a lot of people that are still kind of just testing the waters with this online coaching. Obviously a lot more now with the gyms closing. So
I think online coaching is, obviously, it's been around for a few years now, but it's still an unknown quantity, and people don't really know enough about it. They don't know how to differentiate between to find it. So what I do is what I would call pure online. It's actual coaching. Okay, so my clients, they speak directly to me. I build relationships with them over time. They message me, I message them all the time. We have it's a close thing. I'm there basically with them on their journey. I'm not going to go into all the usual sales speak of customize this and customize that, but that's all included. I think it's something, just to make a point here, I think it's something which is kind of abused. So a lot of people, when you go online, everyone will talk about customized workouts and customized meal plans. It's become it's bloody annoying, because there are people out there who will customize your stuff for you, and that's what I say. Probably a small percentage of actual online coaches, but in the most part,
majority.
Yeah, exactly. The majority of them out there. Let's say, so the majority of the big profiles out there. So guys that like, you know the type, you know what I'm talking about, fitness types. They use software platforms. Now, I've been approached by these companies in the past, and their tagline that they say is, you know, you never have to talk to clients. These are the selling points. You never have to talk to clients again. Never have to do programs again. Basically, put your feet up, get hours back in your day. That's how they sell it to these people. So these are lives that actually. Anyway, so they sell people programs, and it's also software. Sorry, they sell the coaches the software, and that enables people to basically roll a dice. So you go on, you can select, you know, workouts, and it just jumbles up. And same with the meal plan, it just jumbles up and just gives you like to the closest, whatever, 2,000 or 2,500 calories or something. I've seen these things work. You know, I've had these guys message me on Instagram, and then the agents that message me are like their name underscore and then the name of the software package.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name names here. Then those people are all liking the same photos and engage and commenting on the people who, you know, like the big profile and stuff. So you can see how the connection is. You can see who is using that software. That's what
yeah.
And so, bro, like, anyway, I've gone off on a tangent there. Like, ultimately, put it this way: some people don't need what I offer. If they are next level motivated, next level disciplined, know quite a lot about training, then potentially all they might need in their life is just to follow someone who is a fitness model, just because that person is their flipping, I don't know, goal physique or something like that, and they just want to, that person motivates them, and that's fine. But there's a lot of people out there who need a lot more support. You know, like they need the ability to come to you with the problem and say, look, you know, work is this, and like I really can't get this meal in because I can't prepare it. I can't get to this machine because it's always fucking busy at the time I go to the gym. Those little things really will break down at someone. They'll break someone down, their motivation, and eventually they'll quit. You know, it's like, it's one thing where if you are not able to do something 100%, it becomes a slippery slope. As soon as you start, you know, falling off here and there, it spreads. So, you know, if you get let's say you download a program from bodybuilding.com, you look at it and you go, haven't got that machine. That machine's always busy. So I'll just fudge it a little bit.
Yeah, I'll just fudge it. Yeah.
I'll just fudge it. You download a meal plan from whatever fitness model or whatever, that's free keto plan, so that you get your email address. You look at it and you go, nah, I don't want to eat that much butter. I don't want to eat that much fat. So you're not actually going to get into ketosis in any event.
Yeah.
But I'll just follow the low carbs. So you actually end up ditching all your carbs, doing the shitty program, which you're not doing 100%. I think it affects people's mentality. If they're not doing something 100%, it's hard to stick to, because you know you're already kind of cheating here and
exactly. You're already cutting corners. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So and then it's in you're like, oh fuck, it's only one beer after work, or it's only one extra donut, or what, and it all builds up, right? And this is from working in office and watching people do this, you know, on a daily basis. So the importance of having something which is 100% customized to you is the fact that you can literally embrace it 100%. So the meal plans that I create, they are not like you need to eat 5 times a day. It's when can you eat? When have you got access to a microwave? Whatever, like you choose the foods. It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit whether you eat rice or pasta. I can't put donuts in your plan, okay, as much as I would love to, but within reason, most whole grain carbs, most lean meats, most healthy fats, there are huge lists for those, and it does not matter which you choose. You don't have to eat chicken and rice. You don't have to ever eat broccoli again. You know, you can. That's the importance of, like I say, of having something that's 100% customized. So I build these meal plans for people that they're like, I don't have time to cook in the morning. Kids getting ready for school and stuff like that. I need something. I just put in a blender and boom, that's me done. So we can do it. You know, same with the training. If they need something customized, it's not like they, you know, have got like a dumbbell program from, again, like one of these software things that just automatically does it. And they're like, oh, fuck, you know, I don't have heavy enough dumbbells at home to do squats with a dumbbell or something like that. Again, like you all these cutting corners, like you say, it just eats away at your it's hard, it's not willpower, but your sense of like commitment and sense of progress that you're getting. So you need something which is like 100% customized.
Yeah.
So my clients at home, they will send me photos of the equipment they have. So send me the photo of the kettlebell. What does that kettlebell weigh? Okay, so the kettlebell weighs 2 kilos. I'm not going to make you do squats with it. So we need to come up with something else. So, like I said, I mean, another tangent though, but like I think more people than not kind of need this level of coaching if they're just getting into something. They're trying to turn something around. They haven't really been getting results recently. They want to get back into the gym. This is a better place to start than going and just downloading something you can get from free off the internet or something like that and trying to fudge it basically.
Yeah.
So, but it's tough, man. You're competing in an industry where all this kind of thing comes at a price. I can't do this stuff for peanuts. I can't do this stuff for $10 a day because it takes me sometimes a full working day just to set one client up. And it's front loaded. So they'll start and they get all this stuff straight away. So I have to have a 3-month minimum period as well for people as well. One, to prevent people just taking what they get after I've put like a day's work into it and just running away with it. And 2, to ensure that we get some results. 3 months. I don't really want to work with people who don't want to commit for 3 months at least.
I think 3 months is standard because 3 months, that's 12 weeks. Like anybody, if you want to get anything anywhere with any PT in any kind of 3 months, 12 weeks, you're not going to see anything. 12 weeks is kind of the bare minimum. If you really want to see some results, 12 weeks is like the benchmark. You have to be committed for 12 weeks. It's the bare minimum.
But bro, what I will say is that a lot of people out there, let's say a lot of people out there who are in they're not obese, they're not overweight, they're kind of just like meh type shape. You know what I mean? Like in England, you get a lot of guys who kind of get to their late 20s, they start boozing a little bit more and less activity, and the shape is kind of all right, but they're not fat, they're not whatever. You know what I'm talking about, yeah? And you get 100%. It all over the world, not just in the UK. But I would say this, like those guys, I think there's a false sense of reality when it comes to the what's the word I'm thinking of, basically how accessible results are, how quickly they come. So I think a lot of people, because of the internet's obsession with 12-week program, 8-week program, blah, 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 get ripped in 8 weeks. I think what it's done is create an idea that you're only ever 12 weeks away from getting into great shape, and it's not. Like I would say your average guy over there, and let's just use the UK as an example, is probably more like 9 to 15 months away from getting into the shape of the image they have in their head. Let's say that, so the image they have in their head is like potentially, abs out, kind of like your V taper thing, which means you've got to bring down the waist through a lack of body fat. They're probably thinking like a couple of veins here and there. Nothing like super shredded, but just what I would say is roughly around 11 to 12% body fat. And that, something which is, I mean, not quite Men's Health front cover, but kind of looking good. That's kind of the image they have, and they think what they want to achieve. And it's achievable for everyone. I think it's just a reality check some people need in terms of how long that's going to take, there's a lot of false promises out there about people losing weight too quickly. If you lose weight too quickly, if you have a deficit, which is too much, you will lose mass fast. So the scale number will drop, but you're going to lose muscle as well. And your energy as well will plummet. So then energy goes down, performance goes down, and you quit 6 weeks later. So it's really I help people get into the mindset in my team of playing the long game. Like you're going to see results every week. They see, some of these guys are dropping half a kilo every week of body fat, but not 2 kilos a week, or, they're not getting shredded, super shredded or whatever overnight. That's my point. Because you need to be in a sustainable deficit in order to see these results. You mentioned COVID, mate. Just one thing I wanted to say in that sense. Right now, I think the clients, some of my oldest clients, I picked up right in the middle of lockdown 2020. So April, May, June, July, I picked up clients who are still with me now. Now there's a guy that's on my wall called Marlon. He's a 30-year-old barber, and he joined my team in April. And this is when my coaching business was fuck all, man. Like I started it from scratch after PT. This guy took as much of a punt with me, as you can imagine. I mean, who the hell was I? It was this guy with like 10,000 followers and whatever. But he took a punt on me. But this guy has just, he's lost 22 kilograms.
Wow.
All right. In that time. And he's gone, there's before and after pictures all on my page. You've got to check them out. And this guy, like, he's, you know, confident, normal guy, whatever, but he would have never, self-admittedly, he said he would have never thought about doing a photo shoot or anything. We got him to do a photo shoot because he got into such an incredible condition.
Yeah.
That I was like, mate, you need to capture this moment because it's taken so much discipline and stuff to get down there. You got to capture this moment because you might not get back down there for a while or whatever. It's something to show the grandkids. It's not about vanity and that kind of stuff. It's a sense of achievement, the same way a certificate is or whatever. So we got him to do a photo shoot, which just came out phenomenal. But the point is, this guy achieved this in lockdown.
Yeah.
Okay. He did this without a single, I mean, I think he went to the gym for a month before the second lockdown came. And then he was like, fuck this, I'm just going to get some, he got an easy bar, he got a couple of plates, some dumbbells, nothing like mega special. And he invested in that for his home gym. And the rest of the time he was training at home. All came down largely to nutrition.
Yeah.
This discipline with nutrition. So you said about COVID and stuff, and potentially something I would say to people right now is, I know you guys, I'm counting it myself, 26th of March, 12th of April. So what is it, 17 days now until gyms reopen there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, half my clients in the UK now. So as soon as they go back to the UK, they all get, so as soon as the gyms reopen, they all get gym programs. So I've got to manage that process because by overnight, I've got, 30 guys that want a new program straight away.
Yeah.
But I would say this actually, like it's all great. The gyms are reopening, but I don't think this is the last of it, man. I honestly don't think this is the last.
No, I don't think it is. Yeah, you're right.
I don't think this is the last lockdown. I think once the vaccinations come around, great. Maybe that's the end of coronavirus 19 or whatever it's called. What about coronavirus 21, 22? That's my point. I don't think we've seen the last of this pandemic type thing. I think in the future, we may see more of it. I think it's a mindset we're going to have to get very used to. There's a lot of scientists out there very surprised that this kind of thing hasn't happened already or didn't happen, years ago. So my point would be, like, it's great the gyms are reopening and stuff, and awesome, we can get back in there and stuff like that. But it's, I think we kind of need to accept this may happen again, and that, if it does, it's not the end of the world, because most of what my clients wanted to achieve, you can achieve at home.
Yeah.
You can achieve just by setting up a routine. What these guys came to me in the middle of lockdown as clients, and they were like, mate, I've got like 2 dumbbells, I've got a fucking, some of them, like, I've got a mat, a foam mat. Like, that's the kind of, like, what do you want to do with that, man? Like, but it's bleak. Like, they wanted the results and stuff. And I said to them, look, I'm going to give you a program with the weights. Let's get an easy bar. That's going to open up, expand the program. But ultimately, 90% of this is going to be nutrition.
Yeah.
So right now, you're 25, 30, whatever percent body fat or whatever. I'm going to get you looking amazing, and you don't even have to fucking pick up a dumbbell.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that people don't realize, how important nutrition is.
That's true. I think what we're going to have to do, we're going to probably have to bring you back in, and we're going to focus solely on nutrition, because I think, like, there's a lot of misconception out there. There's a lot of misconception out there in terms of nutrition and how much you need to train and how much you need to focus on your nutrition. Like, I solely say probably like 99.9% has to be, nutrition, and the 1% is your weights, because that's where it's at. But, some people have a different thing. But if you really want to put it down to it, nutrition is everything. Like, it's literally, that's where it's at. Like, lifting weights, it's good, but that's nutrition, that's where it's at. And I think that's why a lot of people, they're a lot of, like, bummed up. They're like, gyms are closed, I can't do anything, my mental health. If you focus on your nutrition, you'll still be in the best shape of your life, even if you haven't lifted, you haven't even stepped into the gym. So we're definitely going to have to do that. Like, we're going to have to definitely bring you back and do nutrition, solely nutrition, so that people can just see your knowledge and see your depth of how good you are. Because I know you're great. I know you're like, your work ethic is second to none, bro. That's why I brought you on the podcast, because I know you deliver results, and I've seen it. I'm actively looking at your Instagram all the time. You're always putting up stories. You're always like, and it's not just stories of everything. You break it down. Every story, you in detail, email, you're writing, like I can see your brain working. So like definitely, we'll definitely bring you back. We're going to do a part 2 on solely on nutrition, because I feel like today we've sort of covered like the start of where you were stuck in the rat race, in the bank, in the finance industry, to now potentially getting into the fitness and doing something that you're passionate about, something that you genuinely love, and and how you're helping people and how you're helping the little guys out there, so that they don't get consumed by this thing called social media, with all these, people posting this and thinking anybody can achieve something so quick, because people are so quick to want results. It's like people want a microwave meal, like everything they want in microwave, they want it quick yesterday. And Instagram is kind of sending this false message. And I feel like a lot of people need to step back away, because if you want something too quick, you're gonna lose it as quick as you got it. It has to be a process. It's all in the process. And when you work at something and you sweat for it, trust me, at the end, the reward is going to be sweeter than somebody just handing you out, a quick fix. Because then after the quick fix is gone, you're going to be like, I need more again. But if you do the process and you do the process right, you're going to appreciate the journey. And you're really going to feel like some sense of achievement at the end of it. You're going to be more fulfilled at the end of it. So 100%, bro. It's good having you
last, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's the difference about whether it's going to last or not. So anyone can get abs. Well, anyone can get abs full stop. There's no one out there who's this. We can do a couple of podcasts, man, because there's a lot of stuff.
Honestly, we will, bro. We will 100% will. But down below, I'm gonna put all the information, guys, for you guys to follow Warren. His social media, his new YouTube video that he's just done, his app and his website. All the information is going to be down below, guys. So make sure on this podcast, you click into the notes and you read the notes, because that's where you're going to find how to get hold of him. And you can direct message him straight away. You can DM him on social media. He's very quick to reply. Follow him, follow his journey. He's got about 30K plus followers on there. Like, he's really, really changing, touching people's lives. And like he said, it doesn't matter what you've got. He can work with you regardless, your weight, size, whatever. He can help you out. And we're definitely going to do another part 2 on nutrition. So make sure, you tune in for that. And I'll definitely bring him back. After this, we're definitely going to, schedule that in. So it's going to be very quick. It's going to be coming on that, because I literally want you guys to absorb this knowledge. This guy's knowledge, his knowledge is second to none. You got to remember, this guy was dealing with stocks, bonds, and, with the markets, and, to just understand the finances alone takes somebody with some doing and some brain. So the fact that he can now transfer his, he's got that knowledge as well, and that same dedication to go into the fitness and kind of go into the fitness at a higher level and kind of really, really educate you at that level. I think you need to take this stuff down and kind of listen, because you're never going to find somebody who's dedicated, committed, and so consistent with his work like Warren is. Bro, I'm so thankful to have you on the podcast, man.
Bro, it's been a pleasure. You touch on the thing about education. I will just say, just lastly there, I think that's probably the most important thing for clients. For anyone out there, is to try and educate yourself on the process. So whether it's I'm always that's one thing that I try and do for my clients. There's a lot of good pages out there as well, which I'm happy to refer people to as well. Because ultimately, the more you understand about lifting, and especially nutrition, the more it's going to motivate you. I think a lot of people sort of fall off the wagon and they fail at this because they just don't know enough and they're just guessing. And the more that they can educate themselves about it and learn about nutrition, it helps to keep them motivated. So that's what I found anyway.
100%. You're right. 100%.
They're great. They think it's great that they've now got six packs. And I just had a girl, or a lady rather. I mean, she's 45. She competed for the first time. A client of mine in America. The sort of the results we're getting, the physical results are great, but I think they probably are more. They're happier with the lifestyle changes that we've introduced.
Yeah.
The fact that they don't see food now as like, oh, this is so boring, or fuck this. They don't have the same approach to nutrition now because they directly see the result from what they eat to how they look. And once you make that correlation and you understand what's going on, like you really understand, like not just like, oh, a donut makes me fat and chicken and broccoli makes me rip. It's not like once you understand the breakdown of calories and macros and what different foods do, and I'm trying to educate people, and you can connect the dots, like you really start to think, I don't want to eat that crap. Or, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to have it once a week. I'm going to limit my intake, but largely I don't want to eat it, because I know that I'm going to perform mentally and physically so much better when I clean up my diet, and they know that it's empowering. That's the thing for it. I feel like that's what's fulfilling for me, is when they go away and they're like, like they've changed their lives. And that sounds a bit dramatic, but
nah, man, it doesn't sound dramatic at all, bro.
The most rewarding thing in the world, man.
It is, and that's why. And again, like just that little thing you've just said. That's why, again, I'm gonna bring you back, and we're gonna talk nutrition, because I feel like nutrition is a big topic that a lot of people don't touch on, a lot of people don't talk, and that's why, like, for you to actually get somebody who's a PhD nutritionist and kind of have a one-on-one sitting with them, like, and they they write you out a proper you meet with a dietitian or nutritionist to write you out a proper program, like it'll cost you a fortune. Why? Because there's a lot of intel and a lot of things that have gone into that, and a lot of process that goes into that, and that's why if you understand nutrition, your whole gym process will be so much better and so much easier, and you'll be able to achieve your goals just by understanding what you take and what you put into your body. And that I feel like we need to strip back and just start there. So definitely gonna bring Warren back, and we're gonna do that podcast. We could go on forever now, and we've been talking over an hour, and it's been great. But like I said, guys, I'm gonna put all the information down below on how to follow Warren, all his social media links, all what his stuff, the websites, the app, what he's doing. It's all gonna be down below. Make sure you read the notes. Lastly, guys, all I'd like to say is thank you so much for tuning in to On the Mic with JB.Banda. And today my special guest was my bro Warren, calling us all the way from Australia. And like I said, we're gonna bring him back, and we're gonna do another one. I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Subscribe, download, write reviews, and all that good stuff. And make sure you share this podcast with your family and friends, anybody who wants to, train right and get their act together in terms of fitness. And also, because I always feel if your fitness is on point, mentally you're on point as well. Everything kind of works hand in hand. And again, we're going to touch up on that on the part 2 when we bring Warren back to talk about nutrition. So yeah, guys, just want to say thank you, Warren, again for joining me today, bro. Massive thank you to you.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely talk anyway after this, and we'll schedule in the part 2. But yeah, guys, thank you so much, and have a great day and night, whatever it is where you are. And like I said, download, subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.